Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's Success Life Live. My name is ERICGREID, and I am your coach, and I'm glad you took time out of your schedule to join me for today's Success Life Live. Today, I want to talk a little bit about, moving past the past, so to speak, and letting go of yesterday so you can step into today. So get your notebooks out, get your pen and papers. I say that, but truthfully, I hope that you are at least keeping track of some of the thoughts, having a way of journaling. For me, I've got multiple journals. If anybody knows me, I am a collector and a keeper of thoughts. And so having a place where I can record my ideas, record those things that inspire and teach and guide me, gives me a place to go back to when things are a little crazy. So I'm just encouraging you to do the same. Good morning, Al. Good morning, Elizabeth. Good morning, Sonia. I'll share a cup of coffee with you. What is this cup? We have so many random cups in our house. I swear, every time you go someplace, somebody gives you a coffee cup. Like, what do you do if you don't drink coffee? But anyhow, good morning, Rhonda. Good morning, Zoe. I saw you sneak in over there, Al. I heard springtime is showing up for a week in your neighborhood, and then it's probably going to vanish just as quickly. So, we've had a couple really nice days of spring weather here, which is so nice. I love springtime. My two favorite seasons, truth is all seasons are my favorite as long as they're like the true definition of the season, like spring. San Diego, I think, has the best springtime in the world. Winter, like, Toronto, snow kind of winter. Beach kind of summer, like in Uruguay, and fall, like New Hampshire, Maine, Connecticut. I should just travel and go from season to season. But anyhow, today's lesson, letting go of yesterday, stepping into the future. So this struck me because the other day I was cleaning out drawers, piles of stuff. We all have those boxes in those drawers and those things that we stuff in the back of the closet thinking someday we'll sort through it. Well, that was my day the other day, and I was sorting through a bunch of stuff, and I realized all of a sudden that I was pulling out all these old newspapers, and I was looking at these newspapers, and I was like, okay, why did I save this? And I'm looking at the headline, I'm flipping through the newspaper, and I'm trying to figure out exactly why I had saved this, because it wasn't jumping out at me at first. And even the ones that kind of jumped out at me, I was like, okay, so I saved this because it's the only one. Like, it's the only print copy of this event, and especially now in today's technology when everything is available on the internet and you can print and digital download whatever you want. And it started to sort of, I laughed at myself because here I had this newspaper that I had taken up space and put in a box and moved from home to home to home over the last, 15, 20 years, that had been packed and unpacked, packed and repacked, that had literally gone around the world with me. And here I was looking at it going, and what is the value of this? Like, what is the value of this to me individually? And what is the value of this newspaper on the open market? Like, if I put it up on eBay, would it generate $1 million? And both of the answers kind of came back. And then it started me reflecting about the way we hang on to old memories, the way we hang on to old thoughts, the way we hang on to old stories, how we carry them from place to place, and we pack them and unpack them and pack them and repack them, and we keep moving them around in our life like somehow they're going to suddenly have value, they're going to have significance, they're going to be worth something on the open market. And so we spend all this time and energy around them, when in reality, you can't continue to live yesterday's news, yesterday's story. The person that did you wrong yesterday has picked up and moved on. They probably aren't even thinking about it. That event that you were so embarrassed about in third grade or in high school, or that boyfriend or girlfriend that did you wrong back in the day, they ain't thinking about you. They ain't sitting there carrying you and your memories with you. Shoot, I look at my high school yearbook, I don't know half the people in it. And that's not a good thing or a bad thing, it's just life. Life moves on. And even the experiences that I had in high school and in college and 2 years ago, a year ago, 6 months ago, the person that experienced those events is not the same person now, because just by experiencing those events, I became a different person. I moved into a different awareness. I have a different set of skills and talents and abilities than I did when I was in those experiences. But yet somehow I feel compelled to keep carrying them along, to move them forward, to make them part of my today's story. Oh, you don't understand back when I was here, or you don't understand the last person that I partnered with, or the last person I went into business with, or the last relationship I was in, or the last time I did this. You know, that was the last time. Why not, instead of looking at the last time, talking about the last time, focusing on the last time, you focus on the first time and start saying, you know what? This is the first time I'm doing this as the new me. This is the first time I'm entering into this relationship, entering into this partnership, entering into this business, entering into this fitness or finance or faith journey. This is the first time, because even as a person of faith, I'm a new creature. Each and every morning, each and every moment, each and every day, by grace, all of that is past and gone. So why am I willing to carry it forward when, so to speak, it's already been passed over, passed through? So as I sat there and looked at that newspaper, and I sort of was laughing, and truth is, it was kind of stinky and yellowed, and I had to laugh, because even today we don't get the newspaper delivered to our front door. I mean, I got digital. Why do I want it cluttering up my mailbox? But here I had carried this newspaper, several newspapers, several articles from my past through boxes and boxes and moves, and the amount of energy and the amount of time and the amount of money I had spent moving this stuff, only to realize it had really no value in my personal life anymore, and it had no value on the market. Yeah, it was a significant moment, but it was a significant moment then. And then as I looked at it, I thought, man, that was a long time ago. And I started to reflect of how far I've come since then, how big and how different I am from that article, that moment, that day, that thought. And it was so easy to release it. And I understand letting go of a newspaper is not the same thing as letting go of a bad marriage or a bad relationship or bankruptcy or a business partner or physical or emotional health that's really been traumatizing. I get it. But you have to visualize it. And so a lot of times when I'm trying to let go of events that have, scarred my heart, scarred my memory, scarred my spirit, it's not as easy as letting go of a newspaper. But what I do is I will respectfully pack it away. So I'll close my eyes. I'll visualize it. I'll experience it. I'll feel it. I'll go back to that moment. I'll see that moment. I'll try and get as much of that moment incorporated into my visualization, into my spirit, into my thought, into my breath as I can. And then I gently pick it up in my mind's eye and I say, thank you. You no longer serve me. And I set it down to the side. And I set it down to the side respectfully and gratefully. And then I take a step beyond it. When you're trying to let go of your past, you can't do it all from up here. You can't simply say, I'm not going to think about that person anymore, that experience. You can't just will it away. Sometimes you have to experience it away. And one of the best ways I find is through visualization and sort of meditation and prayer. And so I'll do it often with my coaching clients. I'm like, okay, let's experience that moment. How did you feel? Who was involved? Where were you? What were you wearing? Like as much detail as you can tell me about that experience. And it may be a series of events, but the pinnacle, the highlight, the most scarring moment of it. Okay. Now let's kind of wrap it up. Let's kind of mold it like a snowball into a little bundle. And let's look at it and say, thank you for the experience. It has made me better. You no longer serve me. I release you. And set it down to the side. Set it off to the side. Hang it on a tree of forgiveness in your mind if that's what you use. Take a deep breath and say, now I'm ready to move. Now I'm ready to step forward. I've released it. It is safely placed away in my past. All right? So I get it. May not be as easy as a newspaper article, may require you doing this several times over and over and over. But until you let go of the past, until you release yesterday, until you let go of those scars and those memories and that emotional energy, it's going to continue to echo into your day and into your future. And you're always going to have, like I said earlier this morning, one foot in the past and one foot in the future is always going to trip you up. You have the ability to release it, to let it go. The only person that's really holding on to it is you. You're the only source of the energy of that thought, that moment, that experience, that event continuing forward. And as long as you continue to feed it, it's going to continue to hang out and hang around. But when you take a moment and respectfully, quietly, purposefully connect with it, thank it for what it gave you, thank it for what it taught you. I know sometimes difficult situations, it's difficult to be grateful for, but because you experienced, because you walked through it, because you survived it, you now have a new awareness of you and others and your divine nature. And so thank it, and then release it. Simply say, you no longer serve my needs, or you no longer serve me. Thank you. I release you to the past. And I visualize me setting it down. I visualize me hanging it on a tree, and I have this big tree, and it's called the tree of forgiveness in my mind, and it's where I go and I place things that I ask forgiveness for, and it sits in a big empty field, and bright sun and beautiful cloud. It's like, just visually, it's the most perfect tree on the planet, and it's in the place all by itself. And when I go to it and I hang something on it in the tree of forgiveness, it's like, and I know it's safely taken care of there. I know it's not mine to carry forward. It's not mine to watch over. It's not mine to protect that memory. It's gone. All right? So it's what I want to encourage you to do today. Maybe you have something from years ago. Maybe you have something from earlier this month. Maybe you have something that you keep beating yourself up over and can't let go. Or there's a relationship or a person or a failure or an event in your past that you're just holding on to because that's the only story you know. You've got such a bigger story. You've got such a bigger story to write, such a bigger story to create, such a bigger story for you to experience. But you can't have it unless you let go of the past and place the past where it belongs. All right, just like I said, crazy things happen inside my head when I'm cleaning out boxes and finding old newspapers. Lord, you should have seen what I did with my elementary school pictures. My son looked at it and even said, "Is that you?" I was like, "I don't know. Truth, it's a baby picture. It's kind of got my nose. Could be me. Could be your cousin. Who knows?" But anyhow, crazy things happen when you clean out your life, both physically and mentally. And that's where we're going to leave it today. So I hope you guys go out and have a successful day. Go out and live your future. Live today. Live present. Live in this moment, because that's what success life is all about. It's about living fully engaged in the moment. Living fully engaged with intentionality today, with the things that we're doing today. Good morning, Donna. Good morning, Barbara. Good morning, Julie. So many of you guys popping in late. You're going to have to hit the hashtag replay, leave a comment, and remember the rule. No sideline living. If you're here, if you're seeing it, if you're listening to it, you got to stop it and say hello to the room at least. All right, folks? We're actively engaged in this conversation. This isn't a monologue. This isn't a monologue. All right. Well, Fun Friend Friday coming up with my friend and guest Lynn Brown. I'll be posting that later today. In the meantime, if you need to speak to me about setting up coaching or masterminds or keynote speaking or whatever it is, you know how to find me. Social media, tag me, talk to me, and we'll get back to each other quickly. In the meantime, go out, live your life with success. It is yours, and you are fully worthy of it, my friend. Fully worthy.